Men heap together the mistakes of their lives and create a monster which they call destiny. John Oliver Hobbes. Destiny is a concept that has characterized human thought since time immemorial. Is there something beyond us that determines results for us? Is human success just in our control? Although we would like to believe that by my hard work, by my diligence, I will succeed, I will get to the top. But life doesn't always work like that. We often work very hard and still the success doesn't come about. And that lead people to think that there is something out there which is against me, which is bad, which is cruel. And that they may call as destiny, they may call it as kismat, they may call it as daiva, they may call it as fate. In practically all the religions and the traditions of the world, there is some concept of something beyond our control which affects results. So now there is the one school of thought which says that, oh, this destiny is supreme and we human beings are powerless. Everything is written in the lines of our palms and we can't do anything except live out a script. The other extreme is a complete denial of destiny. There is no such thing as destiny. Now we are all in control ourselves. Now the reality as often lives between the two. The idea that there is something out there which is against me, which wants to crush me, it's a big bad world and I am the wronged person. Now that plays into the innate human mentality to play a victim, to feel sorry for oneself, to feel to seek a cosmic justification for one's inability to succeed in one's life. So that is definitely a wrong conception. Does destiny exist? Yes, it does. Is destiny a monster that is against us? No. This is illustrated in the Mahabharata, which is an ancient Indian epic which talks about the fratricidal conflict between two cousins. The Pandavas who were virtuous, the good party, and the Kauravas who were vicious, the bad party we could say. And the father of the Kauravas was Dhritarashtra. And he could control, he was the head of the state, he was the king, and he could and should have controlled his son Duryodhana from going on the wrong track. He could have stopped him from hatching evil schemes against the Pandavas, but he never did that. And while refusing to do that, when he was exhorted that stop it, otherwise stop your son's schemes against your cousins, against your nephews, otherwise your whole dynasty will be destroyed. At that time he offered a rationalization. He said, if it is the will of Almighty Destiny that our dynasty be destroyed, then who am I, a tiny mortal, to stop the working of mighty destiny? So the Mahabharata cuts through it to his rationalizations and gives a memorable sutra. Says that destiny determines the consequences of our actions, not our actions themselves. I repeat, destiny determines the consequences of our actions, not our actions themselves. That means that as a student, we may study very well in the exam. Our studying is not determined by destiny. Whether the exam contains papers, questions which we are well prepared to answer, which is our specialization, whether the overall caliber of the other competitors is high or low, whether the overall educational system works to reward merit, or it brings in other factors in consideration. All these are what determine the results, and we could say they are what comprise destiny manifesting. So destiny does not determine it does not determine our actions, it determines our results. And in that sense, if we start rationalizing our mistakes and saying that this is destiny, oh, destiny is against me, that's why I failed. Well, we failed not because destiny is against us, we failed because we we acted foolishly, we committed mistakes. So to we our our capacity to improve ourselves, our capacity to make positive contributions, our capacity to attain growth in our life, it all depends on our willingness to take responsibility. If destiny, the concept of destiny is used to rationalize irresponsibility, oh, things went wrong because nothing is in my control, then nothing will ever be in our control. Our life will become worse and worse and worse, and we will not only be miserable but will become more and more miserable. Now, a part of acknowledging responsibility is also acknowledging that there are things beyond my control. So, this is a balance. That means, say a pilot who is driving a plane, who is riding a plane, it is the pilot's responsibility to make sure that there is adequate fuel in the plane, that the plane has been tested properly so that when it flies, there is no problem in the plane. All that is the pilot's responsibility, testing everything. At the same time, it is not the pilot sometimes may find that despite the best precautions, something may go wrong. That means environmental turbulence, or there might be some hijacking, there might be some attack, anti-aircraft missile comes. These are beyond one's control. So if one starts beating oneself up for things which are beyond one's control, and then one becomes miserable, that is undesirable. So by knowing that sometimes things are beyond our control and accepting that things beyond our control will go on, that we should focus on doing that which is in our control, and if things sometimes because of things beyond our control things go wrong, we just accept it. Okay, that is the time when destiny worked against me, but we all go through different phases. So in that sense, we could say destiny, we could treat it not like a monster, but we could treat it like a weather. Sometimes the weather is good, sometimes the weather is bad. And when the weather is bad, we may choose not to do certain things, or we may do things more cautiously. But the weather does not force us to do anything, and the weather does not stop us from doing something necessarily. Yes, sometimes when we want to travel, we may alter our travel plans and not go travel because the weather is bad. But you cannot say that, I traveled and the accident happened because of the weather. We could have chosen to take some precautions by which it might be possible for us to avoid the accident. The concept of destiny in that sense is the complement to human responsibility. It is not a replacement for human responsibility. By blaming destiny, we never grow, and we rationalize our own mistakes and perpetuate them. By denying destiny, we beat ourselves up with guilt and worthlessness even when the wrong results came because of factors beyond our control. By recognizing human responsibility and destiny as complementary in the in the emergence of results, we get a proper hold on reality, and thus we can do our best and at the same time leave the rest. So this understanding will enable us to both be responsible at the same time, not get unduly worked up when things don't work out. Thank you. Hare Krishna.